Hey everybody, it's Nate here from the Vino Paraiso wine store. We're in the middle of watching the World Cup soccer, football for the rest of the world, but here in America we do call it soccer. You guys watching the World Cup? It's pretty exciting so far. We're taking a little break to film another video installment of our video blog for you guys. Trying to do something a little bit different, a little bit more exciting for you. Instead of just featuring a wine, telling you a little bit about it, whether or not we like it, it's hard to tell from a video review if the wine's any good. We can give little, hot words like fruit and powerful, stuff like that, but unless you're out there drinking the wine, it's really hard to know. So we're going to do a little something different. This one is what I want to call is like a little myth buster. And one of the things that people seem to do, especially when they're first getting started with wine, is they think all wine should be stored and saved and aged for a long time. And what we're going to do here is do a little experiment and see if that's the case. And what we're going to do is, I received 3 wines, and there are some pretty old wines from Westwood winery, and we're going to see if aging them was really the right call here. And these are really old. Westwood Winery is a small producer out of Sonoma, and they're an excellent producer, and they make some French blends, Pinots, and try to stay in that Rhone style. They're making excellent wines. They're hard to come by. You probably got to get on their wine club or stop by their tasting shop if you want to buy these wines. But anyways, they're making excellent wines. Kind of a cool thing about it is these wines are really older. So these are from the 90s. And in 2002, the current owner, John Kelly, he purchased the winery from the old owners and moved it from the Sierra foothills to Sonoma. And these wines here are older. They're from the Sierra foothills. And his new stuff's out of Sonoma. And the interesting thing about them is that since they're so small on the website, if you want to go visit, you got to give them a text message to see if they're going to be around. And I thought that's kind of cool. Not a lot of websites do you go onto, and the owners of it give you their personal cell phone, so you can send them a text message to see if they're around to taste their wines and get a little tour of the property. So anyways, it's a little backstory on the Westwood wines. But anyways, these are some older ones. And the way I came across these wines is as a friend of mine, his uncle passed away, and he had purchased these wines way back in the day, probably, about the time these were released. So he ended up sticking them in his wine cellar and saving them for a special occasion. And kind of the bad thing about that is, for everybody, we buy these wines that we want to save for a special occasion, we put them away, and we forget about them, or we keep thinking there's going to be a better occasion to pull them out, and we don't get around to drinking them. And that's just a disservice to the winemaker, is when you let their wines go. So what we're going to do is we're going to open these wines and see if they've stood up for the test of time, and kind of do a little deal there. So anyways, what I have is a Westwood 1997 Pinot Noir, a Westwood 1993 Reserve Merlot, so that one's bordering on 21 years, and a Westwood Syrah. And I just want to reiterate that these wines are excellent wines when they're drinking their prime, but they're probably not made to age for 20 plus years. Most wines aren't. Maybe a Bordeaux, possibly some other French wines like that. Burgundies are excellent for aging, Barolos from Italy. But your average wines you're going to buy at a wine club or at the store, they're probably pretty close to being ready to drink upon release or within a few years. Very few wines last for a long time. You need to be aged. So there are a few out there, and when you come across those winemakers will tell you, like, hey, these are good for aging. But for the most part, most wines, you want to drink them within a few years of release, so you can enjoy them in the best condition. So we'll start with the oldest one here. This is the 93 Merlot, and one of the things that kind of, the reason why wines don't age all that well is they're so fickle with how you store them. The corks can dry out, they can be oxidized if they're not stored properly. Maybe they're not in a cool, dry, or cool, humid area. You want them to be humid so that the cork doesn't dry out, but and also a cool place, somewhere around 60 degrees, somewhere between 55 and 60 degrees is an optimum storing temperature. If they're stored underneath a window, you know, with some books on top of it, it's probably not the best way. So go ahead and get this opened. And this cork is going through real easy, so we're gonna have a mess. This cork's not gonna come out. Yep, cork's coming apart on us. So we know that this is gonna be quite difficult. So I'm using a waiter's cork screw, and this is probably not the best type of cork bottle opener to use. Yeah, this thing's really making a mess. Gosh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get this open. So, shoot. Well, I could punch this in. Then we're gonna have a bunch of sediment in there, and well, we already have that happening. Honey, can you grab me the decanter? I'm going to need the decanter because we're going to need a filter. Just don't stop it. Don't stop it. Just grab the decanter. We'll keep going. We're going to move on to the 97 Pinot Noir. This is what happens, you know, when you have wines age. The cork goes kaputskis on you. You don't know what you're going to get. You're going to be able to open it. This is just another reason why you don't want to do that. So let's try this one. Okay, cork. It's a little bit tighter, so I'm feeling that it's holding up a little bit better. Go good. We got the cork coming out. And we lost half the cork there again too. So what's happening is these corks are kind of deteriorating under the age. And when they deteriorate, they're going to let the oxygen into the wine, and the wine is not going to turn out so good. So we're going to get it. Are we going to make it? It's very close. I'm kind of losing it. Come on, baby. Shit. So I was hoping to be able to show you guys more about what the wines look like, but it seems like we're having trouble just getting past the corkage problem. And there we go. Ew. And the cork, if you look at the cork, it's like a real thick black looking thing. And I'm gonna, probably can't see it real well, but this wine has this real yellowy, orangey, yeah, this one, it's gone bad. It's kind of got a real nastiness to it. So once again, nothing bad about the winemaker itself. It's just these wines aren't meant to be stored for 20 plus years. They're ready to be drank on a fairly good time frame from the time they're released. They might age a few years, but this one probably not stored properly or the best conditions to last for a long time. Cork goes bad, wine goes bad, and there's nothing you can do about it. You're kind of out of luck there. So let's go for number 3. We have the Westwood Syrah 1997. And right off the top, I'm going to be nervous about this one because there's a little bit of wine bleeding out of the label here, or the wrap on the cork. So there's a good chance that the wine has already bled through on this cork, and we're not going to have a very nice wine. Oh, but it's dry, so maybe we could be in luck. Cork again, it's going in there nicely. Hopefully we can get this out without a Ready? Wins the race. Good things come to those who... Remember that commercial? Oh, when we lost the bottom part of the cork. Damn it. So, hopefully we can get this out. Very, very careful. Oh. And I lost it. Thank you. That was my beautiful assistant, my wife. Bring me a decanter. And what we're going to do with that decanter is not to age this, but because I got so much cork in it. Yeah, punched a hole in it. So what we're going to do is filter some of this cork out. And there must be enough cork in there that's not even coming out of this filter. Well, while we're waiting for that, I'll pour a little bit in the glass. So anyways, this one here, actually this one doesn't smell too bad. Yeah, it's got a little bit of like it's gone bad. Yeah, this one's not going to make it. So, as you can see from our mess here, the important thing to learn from this mess is that not all wines need to be stored forever, and you run the risk of losing the wines you spent good money for. So, when you're drinking wines, buying wines from a wine club, buying good wines, don't just save them for a special occasion or the right occasion. Drink these wines. They're just going to go bad. You can't take them with you at the end. Drink them. Don't let them go to waste. That's a total disservice. So, anyways, I'm going to leave you here. I got to get back to the World Cup after I clean up this giant mess I made. Hope you enjoyed our little experiment with old wines and seeing how they become. So, take it easy, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.